Please stand for the pledge.
I have the flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of panic. Mr. Porcello, Superintendent Spotlight.
All right, thank you. We're gonna start tonight off with recognizing two very special people that have meant a lot to this district over the years, in different capacities, but for sure, they will be missed greatly. First up, we're gonna have Blue Gallant talk about Vicki Peters, who spent 21 years of service here as Director of Food Service. So, Mr. Gallant.
I apologize, I stay seated, I have some back issues right now, but Vicki, you can stand and come up.
I think some back
So I just want to recognize Vicki. Vicki began serving as Food Service Director with Prairie Schools in 2004, correct?
Correct.
In June or July after Juanita Lamb retired.
True.
Vicki came to us at the time from Sodexo as a subcontractor in the school district. And prior to Sodexo, we had, like I said, Juanita, and everything was in-house. And then Sodexo was bid out, and Vicki served as the director. But prior to that, she served as the food service director at Kensington Schools.
Right.
And you also worked in, I know it was Heather Hill. Was that a rehab center or a nursing home at the time, or which one was it?
All of us.
Okay, yeah. So she came to us with experience, and then we used her experience greatly for that same time. As that contract with Sodexo became less manageable due to some of the administrative costs that they were charging us, Vicki came to us and said that she could come to us directly and save the district some money on an annual basis. And we kind of worked the system with Sodexo. They kind of knew, but we had an anti-compete with them, but they allowed us to bring Vicki over. She, at that point, kind of retired from Sodexo to do that. But throughout the years, Vicki had a mission to serve children great meals that were nutritious, affordable, and the students liked. And that's pretty tough to do because with the regulations that get put in place, it's not always easy. Over time with inflation and federal regulations, and think about some of we had to switch to whole grains and the reduction of sodiums and sugars and everything else. Vicki continued to persevere and make the food service a great place for kids to be. She's tried hundreds of ideas to find new ways to get kids to eat healthy within the limited restrictions. It's difficult to get them to eat all the components, the vegetables and the fruits and everything else that we have to have on that tray in order for us to get that reimbursement. So balancing those meals is just so hard and so incredible. And quite difficult to even for us to even conceive how difficult that was daily to get these daily, weekly, monthly menus that would try to meet our needs and the kids' needs at the same time, and with all the necessary components. She also spent so much time trying to make sure that kids were getting everything they needed, but also balancing that with the food prices, the cooking time, the staffing labels, and like I said, the time constraints, like I said, the components. And we certainly appreciate all those efforts. She had a lot of great ideas over the years to increase student participation. We had substations and panini stations and grilled burgers outside for a while for kids. We had Frosties, different soups and salad bars and pizzas and calzones. And then when they switched over to the regulations on the pizzas and calzones, we tried some other modifications on that. But she's did so many incredible things to keep those kids interested. She also did some programs for kids. She had the Top Chef competition for, I don't know how many years you had, like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think right before COVID was last.
And it was a program where she would get kids to prepare like a snack or a meal or something like that. And then she had judges who would come in and it really got kids interested in not only cooking, but also food in general. And that, and then she got Sodexo to even pay for a lot of these tries. We're certainly Vicki and I have met hundreds of times over the past 20 years to make sure that the meals and service that she provides for her kids are top notch. She worked tirelessly to make sure that she had the right vendors, the right staff, the right equipment, the supplies to get done right. She succeeded so well and is leaving us with big shoes to fill. Another side of Vicki that a lot of people probably didn't see because she was always just kind of constantly working to get that done was the passion and empathy that she had to her people and the students. I don't know whether she showed it often, but I saw it. We had so many conversations. We just talked about the department making it better for the staff, making it better for the kids, and so it was just her willingness and her drive to make sure that things went well for the people that were involved. Outside of Perry Schools, Vicki has a love for her children, her grandchildren, and her goldens. She has raised great pride champions in all three categories. I'm certain that when Vicki leaves us, she'll be fulfilled with spending time with her kids, grandkids, and dogs. I will miss the wonderful conversations we had about food, cooking, nutrition, kids, dogs, life in general. And I can tell you that we would sit down at least monthly, and we would sit and just have conversations about a lot about dogs, and a lot about life in general. But we certainly covered our intent with the items on the food service as well. In closing, I want to thank you for your incredible service to the schools and our children. You'll be missed immensely, and I wish you only the best in your future endeavors. Please keep us posted and stay in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a certificate for you. And we have a little gift for you on behalf of the Board of Education. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank Vicki for being patient with us as we found her her replacement, and she's doing a great job transitioning Stephanie into that role, and I'm sure Stephanie appreciates it greatly as well. Thank you for all that you've done for our district. All right, next up, Andy Roberts, served 12 years as a school board member here. Also alumni. Timmy Foley is going to speak about Andy.
Yes, I'm going to stay seated too, to keep everybody comfortable. Would you okay with that? Okay. So, Andy, when they asked if I would speak, I said, this is easy. It's really easy to talk about Andy because he's just a genuine, good guy with a big heart. And he's served on this board, obviously, for 12 years for a reason. There's a community out there that thinks you're a pillar to this community. Born and raised here since the 70s, going to school here, having a wife and a family here who's been here forever, and your kids going through this district. You came here in this district and did what you did on the school board for many years. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate and value working side by side with you when you were board president and when you were one of the board members with me. You mentored me in. When I came into this process, you were on the board then to do the interviews when we were appointing someone. And I valued your opinion very much and thought very highly, and obviously still do to this day. So you really have made decisions on this board and for this community as a whole, and for the students and for the staff here, without any personal agendas attached. You did what was best for the greater good every time you made a decision. And you took us through some rough waters, some trials and tribulations. I think the COVID days were probably the most challenging, and we don't want to keep bringing that up, but that was a tough time. And we got through it because Andy was at the lead. And he always came into things with a calm voice. He came in and was able to listen. He asked questions when questions needed to be asked, and truly did things by the good nature that he had with him and in him. And so I can't tell you how much I appreciate that as a community member, as a fellow board member with you and alongside you. As much as I value change, sometimes I don't like change. So seeing you take a step away is sometimes not easy, but I wish you the very best, you and Tammy and your family, and you're not going to be far, I don't think, right around the corner, but good times ahead for you. And just thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've done. And I don't know what else to say other than you did a great job. Thank you.
One, two, three.
certainly a better place because of your service the last 12 years. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your service and wish you the best. And amazing family man and amazing family as well. So Tammy, best of luck as well. All right.
Thank you. Thanks again, Andy. Congratulations on your retirement from the board. Congratulations, Vicki, for your retirement as well. If anyone wanted to use this time, if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're more than welcome to go. We are going to make a motion to adjourn to executive session. So I move that the board adjourn to executive session for the purpose, I forget which one. Yeah, so the person considering the employment of a public employee or official of the school district. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Sealy? Yes. Mr. Lydic?
Yes.
Mrs. Dretzker?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller? Yes.
The safety committee meeting, and they kind of went over safety week, which was September 3rd through September 5th. It was very successful. We also had a full-scale lockdown drill, which was completed, which was also successful. The free weight room in the PAC, there were doors that would lead into the hallway. Those have now been secured. I know there was some concern over that. Also, I'm sure you've noticed, we have that rack in the front by the clock tower, that little circle there. In front of the gym, there's a nice, beautiful pirate wrap. Those doors have now been secured, so you cannot enter those doors anymore. You can exit, but not enter. We've also probably noticed, I'm sure driving around campus, the extra speed bumps that we have now. It's just another way to slow down some of our drivers. Not always students, parents, remember. I've seen you. So we have those. And yeah, that's about it. The fire safety inspections went well. And it was a positive, a lot of positives for our district. So that's it. You're up.
Perfect. We also had a wellness committee meeting, and so we talked about panorama assessments and when we may have the panorama assessments given, how frequently throughout the year. There was a lot of talk about health services for our students, potentially going out to some different places that have dental clinics, vision clinics, and then also a family resource center in Woodcliff that we could potentially utilize. Let's see. We talked about the potential of next year with back to school having where you come and sign up for your physical or extend kind of those services that students, when they come back, they could get those things on campus instead of having to go out to get those. Talked about the CBI programming at the middle school and potentially having a student-led wellness council. So those were, and that would be at the beginning of the school year. Anything else I missed, Jim? Okay, perfect.
And we did have a business advisory council meeting last night. Always appreciate meeting with the group of people there. We did spend a lot of time looking at, Rita sort of provide an update over some of the different career programming that we have offering, Paxton Patterson Lab at the middle school, which is now fully launched, a welding update at the high school, and then talk about the automation 4.0 / robotics lab that's going in. That led to a lot of discussion about the future of AI and what that means for our students and where the jobs are created and where we should be looking to guide students and what opportunities might exist as we enter further into the AI world as far as our economy and the job market is impacted by it. So very beneficial conversation there. We also did look at the plan that we have to submit by September 30th and got some feedback on a potential goal or two as we get ready to submit that plan by the end of this month. So very positive meeting.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Porcello, administrative update.
Thank you. Well, yesterday our report cards throughout the state of Ohio were sent out, and congratulations to our students and staff. We did earn 4.5 stars. So we're doing great in some areas, and there's areas we need to improve upon. The report card is a great measure in time of where we were at one point when students were assessed. Some of the areas where we received 5 stars included graduation rate, progress, and gap closings. Those were all 5 stars. Then the other 3 components, early literacy, achievement, and then the college military workforce readiness, were all not 5-star and range between, I think, 3 and 4.5, or 2 and 4.5. The good news is we've known a lot of this data for some time now. So a lot of the action planning that we put into place at our leadership retreat and as teacher leaders come back on the campus, I'm confident that we've looked at areas like early literacy and there's plans to grow that number. We've looked at achievement data, and that our number 1 district goal instructionally is to improve tier 1 instruction. So we're using our data and our PLCs, and I'm confident that the framework that we have there with Mrs. Majanis' work, principals, teacher leaders, that we're in a great position to improve in those 3 areas. The one area that always jumps out, because we were 2-star there, and I'll address it real quick here. The college career military workforce readiness is a measurement that you may look and say, how do we end up as a 2-star? Well, the metrics is a year in the rear reported. So this data right now is from the class of 2024. Last year, we spent a significant amount of time with our high school guidance team and Rita Soder, Scott Nitzwicki, myself, really driving the work and making sure that our class of 25 was that we jumped through some of the hoops that are related to this measurement, and confident to say that next year at this time we'll have a 5-star based on the class of 25. So we looked at a lot of our pre-apprenticeship programming and connecting that with our internship program and our PSL program, and our kids were already doing a lot of the experiences. A lot of it just came down to paperwork, reflection on experiences, and getting some feedback there. So I'm proud to say that we are going to be a 5-star in that category next year. Some things that those areas measure include, so a student, if they get one of these areas, honors diploma, industry recognized credential, dual enrollment credits, so 12 credits at CCP level, ACT or SAT remediation free score, AP score of 3 or more on 3 different tests, or pre-apprenticeship or military enlistment, you have to check one of those boxes to be considered. So once again, we track that and we're in great shape there. Special thanks to Robert Now. I did get a full detailed report. So yesterday was the day that all of the rankings in the state come out. So Rob's able to pull all the data, see where we rank. We have data that goes back to 1999 that shows where we've ranked every year. And we feel that that is our best measurement to really see if we're holding our place in line, improving, or getting worse there. By looking at Rob's list here, and I can share this with you at a later date, but 12 of our areas he would identify as great progress and in great shape. We have about 4 areas that are making progress, and then 5 areas of concern that we were aware of before the rankings came out that are part of the plans that we already have in place. So once again, report card, great opportunity to look at it, see where we're at, celebrate the great things we have going on, and then figure out a way we can get better. Our kids deserve it, and I know our staff always works hard, and they're always willing to dive in and get to work in those areas. So that's the report on state report card. A couple other things going on in the district. Homecoming is coming up. Friday, 9/26 is the game. There's also a parade on that day at 5:30. Start right here at the elementary bus loop. The dance will take place Saturday night. And let's see, we'll have a grades 1 through 12 pep rally in the Alumni Stadium on Thursday, September 25th at 1:45. So we'll bring in the majority of our grades and have some fun and show that Perry pride. Special thanks to our SAD and PSL students who hosted a veterans breakfast last Monday down at Perry Township Park. Great weather, great food, great time to connect with some of our veterans and show our appreciation for their service over the years. We also had the 9/11 Day of Service, which is hosted by our PSL students. They participated in it, and they joined veterans from our local American Legion's post to collect and care for flags honoring veteran grave sites, conducting a beach cleanup, and harvesting fresh produce from the Giving Garden for the Perry Center. So special thanks to our PSL and SAD students for their connections with 9/11 and the Veterans Breakfast. Special shout out to Minnie Allen, Cleveland Browns flag football coach of the week. great to see the recognition that Libby deserves. She does many great things throughout this district. And two more celebrations. As you'll see on the agenda tonight in Jen's report, we do have a big purchase out there for our, in the name of innovation with our Automation 4.0 Robotics Lab. Once again, that is all comes from grant money. $900,000 was received last year around this time, led to the middle school Paxton Patterson Lab and now this. And I'd like to share that on a day to talk about report card, because while the report card is one measurement and it is important to us and we want to do the work there, we have a lot to celebrate here at Perry, and specifically in the name of innovation and what we're able to create there, provide for kids and for readiness and just different opportunities. And then next, music celebration. 12 of our Perry Middle School, Perry music student grades 3 through 6 were accepted into the prestigious Ohio Music Education Association All-State Children's Chorus for the 25-26 school year. Applicants had to be consistently demonstrate above average singing ability in music class and had to exhibit the work ethic and stamina necessary to endure lengthy choir rehearsals to apply. In addition to the teacher recommendation, applicants had to audition by submitting a recording of 2 required vocal pieces, sing a cappella to be reviewed by a board. Chorus members were chosen from a pool of applicants from all over the state of Ohio. Our students will participate in 3 regional choir rehearsals, and they will combine at the Columbus Convention Center for a full-day rehearsal with a guest conductor by the name of Molly Park the last Thursday of January. They'll perform a concert that night during the OMEA Professional Development Conference. Beth Singer will be the accompanist for this ensemble. And finally, we want to recognize our very own Shaylee Frazier for being selected by audition to sing in the Ohio Music Association All-State Choir. Shaylee auditioned last spring and received word that she was accepted last week. Shaylee will rehearse and perform with other musicians from Ohio at the State Music Education Conference in January. This is a huge honor and we're proud of her. And this concludes my administrative update. Thank you.
Thank you. Public participation. Mr. McGarry?
Hello there. My name is Dan McGarry. Most of you know me. I'm just here on behalf of Perry Township Zoning. We are working on updating the master plan. It's been 10 years since we've done it, and we're putting out a survey, and it's on our website. So I'm going around to North Perry, Perry Township, and Perry schools to ask to spread the word that people take 5 minutes to fill out the survey and just give us some feedback. You know, we're trying to not only, like you guys, prepare for the future, but it's very challenging for 5 people on a zoning committee to make decisions when we don't have enough input from our community. So I would ask just to spread the word. There is a QR code on the current Perry Township website, but I think Karen may be reaching out to you guys to see if we can collaborate somehow to either post that link on your website as well. That's pretty much all I've got.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are notices. Mr. Priscilla, are you reading that one?
Sure. Under notices I, idea part B funds, request for public input. Perry Local Schools Office of Special Education invites the public to provide input on the district's application of IDEA Part B federal funds used for the education of students with disabilities. Input can be provided during public participation portion of today's regular Board of Education meeting or by contacting the office directly at 440-259-9200.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Metzger?
Yes.
Mrs. Sealy?
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to move item 8 to later in the meeting after we discuss new business. Is there a second?
So, your second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Metzger?
Yes.
Mrs. Sealy?
Yes.
Mr. Porcello?
All right, item A, approval of modified DEP. The board is asked to approve the updated exempt employees benefits as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. Item B, personnel, acceptance of retirement. The board is asked to accept the retirement of the individuals listed for the position noted as recommended by the local superintendent. C, personnel, approval of appointment. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the positions indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent, director of innovation and learning, and Director of Student Services. D, personnel, approval of contract adjustment. The board is asked to authorize a contract adjustment noted as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. E, personnel, approval of appointment, corrective action. The board is asked to approve the correction to the previously approved August 12th, 2025 contract as listed below for the 25-26 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and director of human resources. F, personnel, approval of appointment, non-athletic supplemental change. The board is asked to approve the change noted for the 25-26 non-athletic supplemental listed previously approved July 15th, 2025 as recommended by the local superintendent and middle school principal. G, personnel, approval of appointment, 2025-26 non-athletic supplemental. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed for the 25-26 non-athletic supplementals noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. H, personnel, approval of athletic supplementals, coach/volunteer. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the 25-26 athletic supplemental position and rate of pay indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. I, personnel, approval of appointment, athletic event worker. The board is asked to approve the staff member listed for the 25-26 athletic event worker position and rate of pay indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. J, personnel, acceptance of resignation. The board is asked to accept the resignation from the individuals listed for the position noted as recommended by the local superintendent, athletic director, and director of transportation. K, personnel, approval of appointment, student workers. The board is asked to approve the student workers listed for the position and rate of pay noted as recommended by the local superintendent and director of communications. L, personnel, approval of appointment, PES volunteers. The board is asked to approve the individuals noted as volunteers for the after-school torchlight program at Perry Elementary School as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. M, personnel, approval of appointment substitutes. The board is asked to approve the individuals noted for the 25-26 daily substitute position listed as recommended by the local superintendent, director of student services, and director of maintenance. N, approval of out-of-state field trip to Chicago, Illinois. The board is asked to approve an out-of-state field trip for PSL students to Chicago, Illinois, on November 20th through the 23rd, 2025, as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. This trip will be supervised by PSL teachers Allison Trentinelli and Mark Soder. There's no cost to the board for this trip other than the use of the school van for transportation. O, approval of policy first reading. The board is asked to consider the following revised board policies as a first reading for future action as recommended by the local superintendent. Draft policy is available for review below. This concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Priscilla. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Letter N, how many students?
I think, it's a van full, right?
It's a van for probably 7.
Okay, good. Thank you once again for being able to do that. Just making sure with some of the additional contracts, people that are already under contract with overtime and stuff like that, that we're solid, just to double check across our teams there on that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Overtime stuff, just making sure that with people having additional responsibility in the roles that already have contracts that were in line with the policies.
Yes.
I'm sure we are. Question, just wanted to make sure. Do my due diligence.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Presser?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. Laydick?
Yes.
And Mr. Priscilla, you have an addendum?
Yes. Item A, approval of out-of-state travel, 8th grade to Washington DC. The board is asked to approve out-of-state travel to Washington DC for 8th grade students, October 7th through 9th, 2025, as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. B, personnel, approval of appointment, 25-26 non-athletic supplemental. The board is asked to approve the individual listed for the 25-26 non-athletic supplemental noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. C, approval of appointment athletic supplemental. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the 25-26 athletic supplemental position and rate indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. D, personnel, acceptance of resignation. The board is asked to accept the resignation of the individual noted as recommended by the local superintendent and director of student services. E, personnel, approval of appointment substitutes. The board is asked to approve the individual noted for the 25-26 daily substitute position listed as recommended by the local superintendent. And this concludes my addendum report.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Seoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Jessica?
Yes. Mrs. Capo.
Thank you. A, approval of financial reports. The board is asked to approve the financial reports from June 2025 as recommended by the chief financial officer. B, approval of financial forecast. The board is asked to approve the financial forecast as presented by the chief financial officer. C, acceptance of grant funds. The board is asked to accept the Lubrizol grant in the amount of $500 and to approve the appropriation for such grant to be placed in Fund 019, Special Cost Center 9226, as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. This grant was awarded to the PHS Perry Service Learning. D, approval of payment in lieu. The board is asked to approve payment in lieu of transportation for the students listed during the 2025-26 school year as noted below, as recommended by the chief financial officer and transportation director. This resolution is to declare transportation impractical for certain identified students. Is presented pursuant to the requirements of Ohio Revised Code, Section 3327, and the procedures set forth by the Ohio Department of Education. The resolution follows careful evaluation of all other available options prior to the consideration of practicality. E, approval of new account. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to establish a class account for the class of 2033, the current fifth grade class, for the placement of donations, payments, and fundraiser funds as recommended by the chief financial officer. F, contracts and agreements, Madison Payroll Services. The board is asked to approve an agreement with Madison Local School District for shared payroll services from September 15, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, as recommended by the chief financial officer. G, approval of intra-district shared equipment agreement. The board is asked to approve the 2025-26 intra-district shared equipment agreement with Madison Local Schools for the wheel pair baby infant simulators, as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. H, approval of expenditure advanced technology consultants. The board is asked to authorize an expenditure of $640,121.11 to advanced technology consultants procured through state contract bid pricing using CTE grant funds to purchase a new robotics and automation 4.0 lab, furniture, and classroom equipment at the high school as recommended by the chief financial officer and building principal. I, approval of expenditure Gardner. The board is asked to approve an expenditure in the amount of $15,700 to Gardner for the West Campus South Cooling Tower fan motor under the Ohio School Councils as recommended by the chief financial officer and director of maintenance and operation. J, approval of expenditure Deere and Company. The board is asked to approve the expenditure in the amount of $65,154.36 to Deere and Company under state term contract STS 515 for two John Deere 3033R compact utility tractors as recommended by the chief financial officer and the director of maintenance and operation. K, approval of expenditure CDWG. The board is asked to approve an expenditure to CDWG for $31,250 for second grade replacement devices new to the district students and replacement devices as recommended by this local superintendent and director of information technology. L, resolution, Ohio Schools Council bus purchase. The board is asked to approve the resolution below regarding the purchase of one school bus as recommended by the chief financial officer and director of transportation. And that concludes my chief financial officer's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Capo. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
The school bus purchase was planned, right? That was in one of our plans that we had already heard about with
Yeah,
they had budgeted
for
general turnover of buses.
And the John Deere
those, were part of Jim Smith's 10-year plan. They were on there, yeah. The ones we have with Leach there.
And
They're
the
like, yeah, and Blythe.
CTE equipment that the grant is covering for $640,000, that's the presentation we heard at our last meeting, right?
Yes.
Our work session?
Yep.
Okay, put your notes next slide.
No, there was a lot of really good
A lot of
information.
really good information in that presentation they gave.
It's exciting to see what's coming
Yeah, thank you.
to the schools. And then can we go over a little bit of the financial for
Yes.
the 5-year forecast?
So it seems like that's all we're doing anymore is approving forecast, right? The reason we're doing it now is there were some changes in the budget. And so now we used to do the forecast in November and May. Now we have to do it in August and February. But since the bill didn't become law till the end of June, they're letting us have till October. So we're doing it now. The other change they made is that it's not a 5-year forecast anymore, which is why we called it the financial forecast. They're calling it a 3-year forecast, but really it's 4 years because it's this year plus 3. So it looks exactly the same, except for that there's one less column on the right? So, and I thought when I started it, I was like, oh, this will be easy. I'll just move all the columns to the left and put in last year's exact numbers and make a couple of tweaks for this year. And as I was doing that, I noticed that our second half tax collections were a lot lower than I expected. And so I called the auditor's office and was informed that Vistra did not pay their second half tax. And we all kind of expected something like this because of the challenge, right? The valuation challenge. And when we first were informed of the challenge, I talked to Auditor Galloway, and he told me 2 things that I put into my forecast at that point. One was that Vistra had full paid. And I thought he meant they full paid for the year, but apparently I misunderstood that and they must have gone full paid for the first half. And then the second thing was that it would be we should expect to collect about $500,000 less because they'd be short paying. And it turns out it's more like $1 million. So I had to adjust our revenues for those changes, right? I didn't have any short paying in this year, and then I had to change the future years. So the forecast looks a little bit, the revenues have been decreased, right? But the thing to keep in mind is that once that the challenge is settled, we'll collect that full amount again. It's just until it's being settled, we don't collect that money. So I don't know when that's going to be. I can't say whether it's going to be in 27, 28, 26. So I didn't put that $1 million back in. So it looks a little worse than it actually is, right? At some point, we're going to collect that full amount again, and our revenues will go back to where it was. And then, as always, we can't put assumptions on expenditures such as retirements and attrition and all that kind of stuff. And so it looks like we don't have any deficit spending this year, but in the following years we do have a couple million each year. And so it looks kind of bad if you look at just that line. If you just look at the deficit spending. But always, as we always say, every time I feel like I'm a broken record, we will adjust and adapt to eliminate those deficits. And this isn't a plan. It's just a tool. And so we will make changes. But even if we didn't make changes, the more important line to be looking at is your cash balance, right? And you're considered to have a healthy cash balance if it's between 40 and 25% of your expenditures for the year. And this year it's projected to end with 46%. Next year, 40%. In 28, it's 30%. It's not until that last year that we actually go below 25%. It's actually around 15, 16%. But again, that's if we do absolutely nothing and we don't make any changes and we don't settle with Vistra and start collecting all those taxes. So I just wanted to point out that I know there's a lot of scrutiny on that. There's a lot of talk about, are we going to need a levy right now? We're going to need a levy right now. And if you looked at this forecast, you'd be like, oh gosh, they got $4 million in deficit spending in 2029. They're going to need a levy. It's not as what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't accurately reflect our position, right? Because there's a lot of things that are going to change before then.
We would know well in advance if we were going to need a levy.
Yes.
We would know and inform the community at least 2 years in advance, roughly.
I would like to say yes to that.
We'd like to say yes.
But there's so many changes. We talk a lot in these meetings meetings about all the different proposals for property tax reform, right? The latest one is that they're gonna get rid of continuing levies. That's all we have. We have one continuing levy that we've had for 50 years. If they decide to pass that legislation, if that's the route they go, we need a levy immediately, right? So there's a 2-year warning there. The state, yeah.
So a lot's out of our control,
So
but
that,
what
but
is
it's
in our control,
It's in our
we are watching and taking care of. And to someone who doesn't understand school finances, you might hear, we're in deficit spending. Deficit spending doesn't mean we're spending more than we have. We still have that healthy cash balance.
right.
Through your preparation and the preparation of the board over several years, we a new roof and capital improvements that we know are coming.
Right.
So it's not gonna be a big surprise that, oh my gosh, we need a new roof and where's this money gonna come from out of our cash balance? No, it's already been allotted for. We've planned ahead for most of these things. And with the good work of Mr. Smith, who is meticulous in his planning, we have, I don't know how many years he's planned out for right now where money is set aside. So don't hear deficit spending and think that, oh my gosh, they're in the red, it's dire, we're gonna lose everything. That's not the case.
Yeah. And if you look at past forecasts, there's always deficit spending, especially in those last years, right? It's always there. As we need to, and not.
And again, most of your forecast includes the areas where you know there's going to be a reduction, not necessarily a savings.
Right.
So it's almost like it's never fair to put that projection out there because you're not allowed to account for the things that you mentioned, retirements or cost savings through attrition and stuff like that.
And I feel like we're always conservative with,
Oh,
Yes.
I am.
Worst case scenario almost.
Yeah, definitely a worst case
Right.
scenario.
Yeah, so as long as we keep in mind that it is the tool that it is, and we continue to plan, and we know that the money that we were expecting that didn't come is not gone forever.
Not that.
It's gone for now until this is settled. It's not what it seems on paper. So I think that the full context is important for anyone to consider. And if anyone has questions about it, Mrs. Capo is happy to answer.
I would talk to you.
She answered mine the other day. I put her through the ringer.
Yeah, or any board member is happy to get information for you from Mrs. Capo because there is a lot of variables and a lot of laws and rules surrounding school finances that are very difficult to understand until you really immerse yourself in it. So thank you, Mrs. Capo. Does anyone have any other questions, comments, concerns?
She was pretty thorough the other day with me on the phone, so thank you.
There's a lot of ongoing discussions, so. Any other discussion items? Is there a motion? Oh, we have a motion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Sealy?
yes.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
And Mrs. Custer?
Yes. Addenda?
Addendum.
Mrs. Capo?
A, approval of expenditure Washington DC trip. The board is asked to approve the expenditure to 20th Century Tours for $29,997 for the 2025-26 8th grade Washington DC field trip as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer, Local Superintendent, and Building Principal. And that concludes my Chief Financial Officer's agenda.
Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Custer?
Yes.
And Mrs. Sealy?
Yes.
Okay, let me just find the brief. Is there any unfinished business? New business?
The only unfinished, I guess, my question, did we talk about OSBA yet?
We mentioned at the last meeting, we asked if anyone's going. Does anyone know for sure if they are or not going to OSBA?
I plan to go.
Okay,
I'm going.
I'm going.
okay, I'll be there too.
I have you all registered.
Oh,
Okay,
you already did? Okay.
great, thank you.
And that's all done.
All done.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
We're done. That's why it was on business. That's why I'm doing it here.
There you go.
We did it.
Okay, so
Refresh my
any
memory.
new business then? All right,
We have to go
I
back
have to
to
go back to my,
number
back to the
8.
beginning, number 8. The board president's report, I move that we appoint Jennifer Grega as the board member of Prairie Local Schools Board of Education effective September 17th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Truster?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
So, Mrs. Keiko, can we do the swearing in then at this time?
Let's make sure she's here.
Stand up.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, darn.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jennifer Grega,
I, Jennifer Grega,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
and discharge the duties of my office
and discharge the duties of my office
as a member of the Board of Education
as a member of the Board of Education
of Perry Local School District
of Perry Local School District
in Lake County, Ohio.
in Lake County, Ohio.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mrs. Greta.
Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard.
Thank you.
So as your first business, you will have to vote on the next item on the agenda. Should be an easy one. So correspondence and announcements. There will be no classes on Friday, September 26th, 2025 for staff development day 3. The homecoming parade is the same day at September 26th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. There will be no classes Friday, October 10th, 2025 for NEOEA day. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 at 5:45 p.m. in the Starbucks Center Conference Room. Is there any other public participation? Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Truster?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Grega?
Yes.
Thank you.
I paid attention.
That was the hardest one today.